Have you ever stood at a crossroads, a place where two paths diverge, and wondered which one to take? Our lives are full of these moments. Right at the beginning of the book of Psalms, we find a poem that acts as a guidepost for this very decision. Psalm 1 is the gateway to the entire collection. It's a wisdom poem that presents two paths, two ways of life, and two very different destinies. It asks us a fundamental question. Which path will you choose? Let's dive into what this psalm calls the blessed life. The very first word is blessed. This isn't just about feeling happy. It's a deep, settled well-being that comes from being aligned with God. The psalm starts by telling us what this blessed person doesn't do. They don't walk in step with the wicked, stand in the way that sinners take, or sit in the company of mockers. Notice the progression, from walking to standing to sitting. It's a picture of gradually getting more comfortable and entangled in a life that pulls you away from God. But it's not just about avoiding the negative. The positive action is key. The blessed person's delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law, he meditates day and night. So what does it mean to meditate on God's law? It's more than a quick read. It's like chewing on something, really savoring it. It's reflecting, pondering, and letting God's truth sink deep into your heart and mind throughout your day when you're driving, washing dishes, or lying in bed. It's about making God's perspective the soundtrack to your life. This leads to one of the most beautiful images in the Bible. The person who delights in God's law is like a tree planted by streams of water. Picture that for a moment. This tree isn't just surviving, it's thriving, strategically planted right next to a constant source of life. What are the results? It yields fruit in its season. Its leaf doesn't wither, and whatever it does, prospers. This illustrates the difference between a superficial faith and a deeply rooted one. A tree with deep roots can withstand droughts and storms. This isn't a promise of constant, easy success, but of stability, resilience, a life that produces good things over the long haul. Your life has substance because your roots are drawing from a source that never runs dry. Psalm 1 presents a stark contrast. What about the other path? Verse 4 says, "Not so the wicked. They are like chaff that the wind blows away." What is chaff? It's the worthless, dry husk that surrounds a grain of wheat. During the harvest, farmers would toss the grain into the air. The heavy, valuable grain would fall to the ground, but the light, useless chaff would be carried away by the wind. It's an image of instability, of being rootless and empty. A life without God as its foundation might look fine on the surface, but it lacks true substance and can be blown about by circumstances. It's a life that ultimately amounts to nothing. So we have two paths, leading to two different destinies. The final verses make this clear. The wicked will not stand in the judgment because their lives lack the foundation to endure. The psalm concludes with this powerful summary. "For the Lord watches over the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked leads to destruction." That phrase "watches over" is incredibly personal. In Hebrew, it means God knows the path intimately. He's involved, guiding, and protecting. The other path, however, simply perishes. It leads to a dead end. Psalm 1 invites us to self-reflection. Which path are you on? Where are your roots planted? Are you drawing life from the constant stream of God's word, or are you being tossed around like chaff in the wind? The beautiful message here is one of hope. It is never too late to change your path, to replant your life by the living water. You can choose the way of blessing today. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing for more content like this.